Hey, what's going on YouTube? Here we are doing a video installing a new Lensun hood solar panel on the good old 3rd Gen Tacoma. Now, if you might know, I already did have a solar panel on there. It was like 5 or 6 years old. Reached out to Lensun Solar, see if they would, sponsor another one so I could do a video. It was just kind of showing its age a little bit. Still worked, just showing its age. So I got a fresh one that we're going to put on there. Now, one of the main things people say about these hood solar panels is if you put it on, it's going to destroy the paint on your hood. Let's take a look. So as you can see, this is where it was. That's where the dirt was. And it looks pretty freaking fine. Looks just fine. There is some scratches and stuff from before, not from the solar panel, but perfectly fine. But I'm going to do something a little different than if you were installing it yourself if you didn't do it. As you can see right here, oh, let me flip it. As you can see right there, there's a great line, So this was already measured out on perfect center. I'm just gonna put some tape following this line, so when I put the new one, it'll be fine. You are gonna have to measure, if you want it exactly center, you're just gonna have to measure like this and find center and then where you want your edges. It's pretty simple, but I'm just gonna do it the redneck way. Now that I have the area marked out, I'm gonna use some rubbing alcohol and a rag just to clean out the gunk from the last vinyl and just get it a little more clean. Now that that's all cleaned up with some rubbing alcohol, time to open up the solar panel. We now got the whole solar panel unpacked. Now it's time to mess with the vinyl. Now the vinyl can be the hardest part. So what I like to do is I like to put it upside down, put it on the hood of the truck. Sorry, there's a lot of people driving around. And then I just tape it down like this. Sorry, the whole neighborhood decided to get home today, but anyway, I roll it out like this and let it just bake in the sun for a little bit so it's not as rolly. So I'll meet back when that's done. Now this next part with the vinyl is a little difficult, probably the most important part. What you need is a spray bottle with water and dish soap in there and a squeegee. And yeah, that's what you gotta do. I'll show you what's next. Now I'm gonna take the bottle of soap and the rag and just clean up the edges a little bit where I have this tape. I guess this will be a little different for you. Either way, you need soap everywhere, so don't ration it. I'm gonna go ahead and just clean almost my entire hood. There it is, all cleaned off, best you can, it ain't gonna be perfect. Now I'll show you what you do with the vinyl. Now for this part, you're gonna want your tape, you're gonna want your squeegee, normally they send one. You're gonna want your scissors, and obviously this. So what I like to do is lay it out. Obviously let it bake so it's not rolling up on you like it was when you first take it out of the package. I like to go ahead and cut some of this off to get it out of the way. I forgot to tell you to put some weights up in the corner, just makes it a little easy. It is a slight breeze today, so it's always fun, ain't it? So now what you do is you peel a corner on this vinyl here. You fold it back. It's gonna be a little difficult with the wind, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, now that you have a little bit, go ahead and get it all wet. This kind of is interesting in the wind, but basically you just cut this. Not super close, but close enough to the vinyl. Take that piece, throw it away. Now, if you're doing this on a hot day, you're gonna have to constantly reapply. Now, make sure you get a bunch on the hood as well. You wanna take your vinyl, bend it back, kind of get it where you want it. Let's go ahead and shift her over. Now, the beauty of this is once it sticks, it's not permanent. You can still move her around a little bit. Oh, go ahead and get some of the hood while you're at it. I'm gonna just hold it in my hand, get this part nice and wet. Set her down. What the hell? How did that get there? All right, now that you get to a spot you kind of like, you start in a corner, you start squeegeeing. Now, obviously this vinyl doesn't need to be perfect. It's getting covered by a solar panel, but you do want it to be straight, which I gotta adjust real quick. All right, I've had to take it on and off multiple times to get it straight, but you will do it sooner or later. Especially if you are not familiar with vinyl. Just every time you do take it off, you just gotta re-soap her. Then you just carefully squeegee, try to go slow. Don't try and pinch the vinyl. That's what messes it up. I'm just going to slowly push stuff out to the edges. See, pinch there. Now I got this straight, what you can do, get up here, and you can kind of re-soap it just to get it purty, just to help you get it good. Now that right there is the hardest part. I messed up countless times, as you could probably see. There are some bubbles in it, but you know what? I ain't a vinyl guy. I suck at that, and solar panel's going on top of it, so who really cares if there's a bubble? I don't know if it's really a bubble, it's more like a crease, but it's on there, looks pretty even. Like I said, if you mess up, pull it off, spray more stuff on it, and try again. You know, it's kind of forgiving that way. Just try not to bend it too much. You can't, you know, like fold it. But yeah, I think it's on there, and let's move on to the solar panel. Real quick, I'm gonna clean the vinyl off with some more alcohol before we put the panel on there, just to get it nice and clean for that tape. It is a really hot day over in Arizona, so this stuff kind of dries up really quick, so that's nice. Nice and clean. Now on the back of the actual solar panel, just wipe it off. You know, I'll just use this. Still has some alcohol on it. Give it a nice wipe down. They send you some nice double-sided tape. Obviously don't peel the second sticky side yet. You want to do a boundary as close as you can on the edges, and then do rows in the middle. Sweet, now that's the border done. So my camera overheated while I was doing this, but basically this is what I did. I do a little thicker right here where the wind will be hitting. And then, you know, I just do stripes and then one row around. I see people do different methods, but this stuff is so freaking sticky and great. Kind of doesn't matter what you do as long as you get the border and do stripes. So obviously don't peel the tape yet, but what you want to do, get it in the spot you want. Kind of one shot of that, not gonna lie. Let me get that cord out of the way. I'm wearing gloves because this is a solar panel and it is summer in Arizona. It is hot as hell. It is very, very hot already because, you know, I've just let it sit in the sun so far. So I kind of just want to get it wherever you want. Looks decent to me, actually. Did pretty good centering that. I'm gonna use a tape measure just to see if everything's matching. 3/4 and about 3/4. Now when you get to a spot you like, I take some painter's tape like we've been using and start doing your marks just like that. Ka-chow. Then I do a big one on the side. Now this ain't ever going to be exactly perfect. But you sure want to try, don't ya? All right, now when you have all these marked, basically you want to tape the solar panel to your hood as best you can so you can flip it back on your windshield, peel the stuff off, and then flip it back and it'll be in the same spot. All right, when you get it all peeled off, you use the hinge, set it down and try and do it perfect. The first time you can kind of peel it up, but it gets a little hard, so you just want to try your best. Oh, golden. Oh, baby. The hinge works great. Let me check. Look at that. Give it a couple pats. And you can go ahead and take your hinge off. When you get it all situated, you want to get some bins or boxes with a little bit of weight in there. Set it on top, get the corners, and let it sit for like an hour. We'll let that sit for about an hour. I think I nailed pretty good on the old even, you know, making it even on the hood. Obviously it ain't gonna be perfect, so if someone really looks, they're gonna find some issues. But I got the boxes on there. I'll see you guys in an hour. All right, it's been about an hour, hour and a half. Let's pull that stuff off and we'll get the solar panel wired up. It is pretty simple, so let's get to it. It must have been like something sharp on the bottom of that box and it like kind of scratched the panel. I looked, it was like a rock stuck to it. I guess before you put something on it, just check. It's not gonna mess it up or anything, but just kind of scratch the film on top. So I guess that's what that is. It didn't come that way. That's just dirt, but yeah, right there. That kind of sucks, but whatever. So basically you just open your hood. They do give you some mounting stuff. And at least on this 3rd Gen Tacoma, there's like a little lip right here. So I just run in that, get it nice and tight. You can see the pads from my old one, but what I'm gonna do, I'm going to first zip tie it to this one. Looks good. I'll cut that off, spray this off, get it nice and clean. Now they do provide you these little sticky mount things for a zip tie. See how there's a hole, you just run a zip tie and you peel the sticky off. So I'm gonna do that right there. Then once you get them stuck on there, you kind of just run a zip tie through them. I'm gonna use the ones they provided because those holes are kind of thin, or small, I should say. All right, you can kind of see how I ran the zip ties. I'm gonna cut those off, and then you just have this. Now don't mind all the rat nest down there. It is a rat nest. So what you can do is you can save some of that tape and put it on the back of this and stick it wherever you want. I think that's what I'm gonna do. But basically, you know, it's just a male, female over there. You connect it and you just run, you know, the connectors to your battery terminals. So let me start doing that. As you can see, I added some tape, same one we used to mount the hood panel. I'm gonna peel it and stick it where I want it. Sticks on nice and good. Now I'm gonna connect the male and female ends. I connected the ends right here. My control box goes right here. So what I'm gonna do is zip tie this all bunched up just to keep it organized a little bit better. I'm gonna use one of my bigger zip ties though. Okay, now that I have it all kind of zip tied, makes it a little easier. I'm gonna zip tie it to the wires I already have in here to keep it all together and not rattle. Just like that. Now all you got left is your red and black that you just go connect to your battery and all the slack in the world. So I'm just gonna zip tie the slack back until it's perfectly what I need. You can see right here, that's where I mounted that and ran the wire down to it. That's where I zip tied the rat's nest. That's where I zip tied the other rat's nest. So what I'm gonna do, like to these other wires, they're all zip tied together. I'm just gonna do it there. I haven't hooked it up to the battery yet because I am installing a solar panel on the iCamper Mini right after this and posting that as a separate video. So you can stay tuned for that. But basically, you know, all you do is just do your connectors here and then call it a day. And then I'm just gonna zip tie it to the rat's nest of wires I have there. I got a lot of stuff on this truck and a lot of stuff to run here, so that's why it looks that bad, but whatever. Well, that's her all installed. I am still mad that there's a freaking rock under that bin that scratched the panel. Brand new. Why am I such an idiot? I don't know. It is like 90 degrees outside, or closer to 100 in Arizona. So yeah, it was a process. I don't recommend that, but it went pretty smooth. You know, she's nice and warm. The connector, the control module did get lights and stuff, so I know it works. I'm not fully wiring it up yet. Now I'm gonna film a video installing a panel on the iCamper. So if you're curious, that'll be uploaded in about a week. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this was a good video for you, so you know some things. Yeah, I guess in the very beginning I did forget to say to save a little bit of tape so you can mount your control module, but hopefully you did. All right guys, thank you so much. Like, comment, subscribe, and thank you again for Lensun Solar for sending that panel out.